Okay, so I'm at a pretty charming little historical local history museum called the Jundah Historical Village or Historical Museum between Miles and Taroom, and we've only got 10 minutes here quickly. This is a lovely old sulky with two shafts there, just for one horse to pull. I used to work at the Cobb & Co Museum, and I've forgotten, I used to know a fair bit about these vehicles and now I've forgotten. I think this might have been called a box cart. I can't remember. These were a bit like utes back in the day. The big wheels are useful because on the black soil, when it rains, it gets really boggy, and so you need the large wheels to be able to negotiate it. But the problem here is if the wheel doesn't go underneath the vehicle, then you have a really wide turning circle. So there was a trade-off. Got the iron rims on them here. Yeah, these were a bit like the utes of their day, as I remember. And a dray, nice, what do you call them, levered suspension. I can't remember. No, what's the word for them? Anyway, that's a suspension. The drays here. Wow, look at this. I love, how's this for, it's just timber. It's not even really machined off. It's, I mean, I guess it is underneath, but it's probably a repair job, I guess. I don't know. Whereas here you can see it's been machined into a nice shape there. But anyway, they'll meat safe. Keep your food free from the bugs in there. Look at a big hook for hanging stuff on. So this is like a multi-use shed storage thing that I think had some extra rooms added onto it. Wow, is this a steam engine tractor? I don't really know. Anyone who knows, tell me. But yeah, it's a cool little museum, this. Yeah, these had multiple uses. They were used as engines for driving, like, you know, different machinery just off the belt drive that you could attach to them as well, as far as I remember. It's all disappeared out of my brain, but over here is interesting in these quarters here, which I guess were like workers' quarters. So I presume this was... Have I what, sorry? Oh, okay, I'll have a look. Yeah, well, I've got a museum thing on bird bites as well. So, in here there were some good displays. We'll have a look at this. But this was free to get into, and it's open basically 7 till 9. There's also a caravan parking site down there, and there's some cars here, so I think it's a bit of a multi-use site, but just being free and being open a lot is really good. Can't say I've seen, I looked in this building just earlier. So the history of the Wandoan area. Dreamtime. Human-Tri occupied the area for many thousands of years. 1844, Ludwig Leichardt passes through. But, oh wow, look at this. I didn't go in here before. Office of the Manager, Traffic Operations, Southwest Toowoomba. Amendments to trains. Wow. All of this meant something a long time ago. But over here, this was really cool. Petrified wood and tree ferns found in the Wandoan area and identified by geology enthusiast Charmaine Fripp. Yeah, how cool is this? This one I don't think is petrified wood. Isn't that from my geology memories at uni, I think that's a concretion of where successive layers build up. This one had a Great sound, metallic sound. Yeah, it's great. Petrified wood, I wonder how old it is. Coal. Yeah, and we have past coal mines out here. Wow, buck slab hut with a, I don't know, like a big thing over it, shed over it.
Welcome to Wandoan. Like many towns in the central Queensland Highlands, Wandoan traces its European origins back to the explorations of Ludwig Leichardt, who passed through this region in 1844 on his journey from Jundah to Port Essington. Leichardt wrote enthusiastically of the many waterways, open grazing lands, and willow forests that traverse the district. And by 1847, extensive rural settlement from the south had begun. All of their worldly possessions on wood trade behind them, and driving the sheep and cattle ahead, early settlers built their snowball huts upon the local waterways and quickly established themselves on a fertile and open grazing land.
Some pretty effective sound effects here.
Had just such a beginning. Then in 1853, a rural
Okay, we'll leave the history of Wandoan there and just look at the folk village over here. Then we've got to hit the road again, keep going. Yeah, it's a very wide open space. On a stinking hot day, this would be pretty brutal, but it's fairly pleasant today. And there were a whole lot of apostle birds over here going off before. I think they've gone. No. Where are they? Maybe they're over the other side of the fence. When we see historical signs to turn off, we just take them. Wow, look at this. Oh my goodness, this is great. 4X plane. Oh, cameras. Super 8 camera. That is... looks like... no, that's Super 8, that film there. Wow. Ah, used to have one just like it. Oh wow. Catalogues. Yeah, a lot of these remote communities, they just ordered everything by mail order. It was quite a big deal back then. Vince Harris loved his cricket. Well, autographed by Colin McCall. Bet. Played for Australia. Well, that's an ostrich egg on the left and an emu egg on the right for comparison. I have an ostrich egg at home but not an emu egg. And cassowary feather duster. Gosh. This is all very nice. Handmade at Daintree, North Queensland, by Rupert Porter for Evelyn Porter in the late 1920s, early 1930s. Made long before the cassowary became a protected bird. Okay. Yes, and that's probably why they ended up protected. Wow. Now this is really cool. I just wish with museums like these, they just engaged with the local Indigenous people a bit more. And there's some kind of display about the Indigenous history, but you know, that's just an opportunity waiting to happen. That's all. Wow, this place is really good. Conjecture, that's an orange-footed scrubfowl. Could this be Leichardt's mysterious glucking bird or a close relative? First heard on 25th of October 1844 and again on November the 3rd. He mentioned it again in his journal on the second expedition in January 1847. Its call is described by Rowland in Birds of Australia as a combination of loud clucks and screams, and by Slaters in their field guide to Australian birds as a loud double crow. A shy bird mostly only heard at night or at dawn and rarely seen. Well, okay. The orange-footed scrubfowl are found in northern Australia. They are, let's see, they're galliforms, they're megapodes, so the same family as the malleefowl and the scrub turkey, basically large-footed mound builders. Yeah, so that's interesting. I've read a bit about Joseph Banks, and that's something I'm looking forward to with the birds that he saw at Cooktown when we get up there. But I haven't read about Leichhardt's recording of birds, and you know, this just opened. It's a whole new field. What can we learn about what can we learn about birds from the journals of early European explorers? So okay, so he found something that sounded, you thought was that. Yeah, that's a tough one, because if you look at other videos I've done here, like the In Crow's Nest, the display cabinet with the birds that have birds found in that area which are no longer in that area, like catbirds. Well, we did have that region honeyeater come up to the Toowoomba area this year to Highfield, so that was pretty awesome. But anyway, birds that were once known in that area that aren't, you know, they're still in adjacent areas, or it's not that big a stretch for them to be there. But for something like an orange-footed scrubfowl to be down here, we're down here, their habitat's up here and over in Darwin, and I couldn't tell you exactly how. I'd have to, in fact, I've got the book here. I can look it up. Just about their range. That would be really interesting if that was what he saw. I doubt it is though. Now I don't even have my glasses on here, which is going to make this interesting. Let's just flip through till we get to the megapodes. When you don't have your glasses, that's hard to do. Yeah, so look, right across the very top. We'll certainly be seeing them on this trip, but for them to be all the way down here, very interesting. Could be a remnant isolated population. Depends how thick the scrub was, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to look into that a bit more. That's pretty interesting. But, okay, I'll wrap up this video here. And, look, the Darwin's stubby. Yeah, so this is a little the Jundah Historical Village between Miles and Taroom. Really worth checking out. I'm glad I've come here. Alright guys, I'll leave you to it. So this is what it is, the Jundah Heritage Centre. There's a sign on the road that just says historical site. You know, those brown signs, so that's what we followed. Didn't even know it was going to be a little historical museum. We thought it'd be a, you know, like a marker stone for something. But yeah, that's really cool. So definitely worth a visit.